Hello, everybody. Welcome to the feed. I am your host, Master of Ceremonies, the one and only producer Tony from Spot Monkey Radio. You can catch Spot Monkey Radio every Monday, 10:30 a.m. over here on False Finish Productions, where me and the other two gentlemen talk the shows and what's coming up in the world of wrestling. But this is the feed. This is Friday, and usually we get right into it by reading some news from the feed. Hasn't been a very busy week. Hey, what's up, man, Jones? How you doing, bud? Hasn't been a very busy week in the world of pro wrestling, I've noticed. So there's not much going on. We're going to play a little fantasy booker in a little bit, as well as I will give you some Tony's takes. Hello, same time toys. Yes, thank you so much for that, my love. But let's get right into it with news from the feed. And right out of the box, there's not really much going on. I mean, I guess I could play some music. Should I play music? What do you think? Yeah, right. I should play a little bit of music. And we'll go with a little bit of generic rock music. What do you say? All right. So first things first. There's not really much going on. Like I said before, there's not much going on in the world of wrestling this week. There's a few interesting things happen on the shows, but we talked about that. And I usually save that for Mondays because I don't want to do that here and then on Mondays. So, but a few interesting things happened this week on the show. Some people aren't really excited. It is the road to WrestleMania. Some people are saying that they're not excited, or they don't feel excited about the road to WrestleMania. It doesn't feel like it's WrestleMania season. And while I tend to agree with them that it isn't really getting there just yet, I feel like we have to get through Elimination Chamber. I think because they pushed WrestleMania back virtually a whole month, they're pushing back the hype with it too. I don't know why. It should have started at Royal Rumble because usually the Royal Rumble is the official road to WrestleMania. So I don't know why they would push it back if they are doing it, but things are starting to ferment. You actually saw champions are decided, and now they're starting to set up other things. So that being said, that brings me to I gave you that long-winded story to kind of bring you to my first story of the week, which is Vince McMahon had a wild pitch for the 2022 Women's Royal Rumble match. Now, we all know that Vince McMahon is a fucking animal, but I would just I'm always interested to see what kind of pitches he came up with, because they were always fucking bonkers. But let's see. One of the most popular premium live events, WWE Royal Rumble in 2022, I received a lot of criticism. It was mostly for the 30 minute. Okay, hold on. Let me just get I got a little ahead of myself there. Hold on. I'm trying to find where they said the pitch. Huh? Well, because it says one reason given that Vince McMahon's vision was so off the wall that there was trouble coexisting within WWE that had Finley produced the match. I'm saying Vince. Some were also frustrated with Vince's lack of plans of cameos. All right, so he just had some shitty cameos planned for the 2022 Royal Rumble. He had no idea what he was doing, man. Essentially, is what this is saying. Well, Triple H took over a year ago. Yeah, so it hasn't been too long. So, I mean, listen, it happens. Now, this story right now I'm looking at right now, this was the story I really wanted to get into. I just hit the Vince McMahon one because I thought he was some crazy shit that he might have done. But it was just some shit. He was just trying to book a couple of bad fucking nostalgia acts, I guess, that nobody cared about, like the Iconics. I don't even know who the fuck they are. I don't care. But so he it was probably, you know what happened towards the end. Vince got real senile. Yeah, I think just people don't really want to acknowledge it. But he was in his damn near 80 years old. In his fucking 70s at that point. And like anything, any coach, any manager in baseball, eventually the game passes them by. Like time passes them by, and like the new evolved athlete comes in, and they're a whole new brand of athlete or player. And these coaches and fucking GMs and all these old timers, they have no fucking idea how to handle what. Yeah, he just started phoning it in. He definitely started phoning it in. But anyway, they're saying that there's some rumored matches for WrestleMania this year. Obviously, we have Gunther versus Jey Uso, Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany Stratton. John Cena is definitely going to have a match there. The question is he going to be involved in the title, or is he going to have a side match? There is heavy speculation that there will be a triple threat match involving Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. Here's the question that I raised to all of you guys. Do we have that night 1 and the winner fights Cody night 2? Or is it its own separate entity and somebody else, John Cena, fight Cody for the title of WrestleMania? Does Cody Rhodes wrestle twice like he did last year? Does he defend the belt twice, which would be interesting? Does he defend the belt Saturday night against John Cena and then Sunday night against the winner of the triple threat match? That's an interesting take. It wouldn't surprise me if that's what happens neither. It really wouldn't. But we'll see. Like I said, only time will tell. Also being rumored right now, and I think I kind of agree with it in terms of what I saw on Monday, was AJ Styles versus Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship. I'm actually excited to see a match like that. I think that would be great for Braun Breaker. AJ Styles now on the back end of his career is at this point now just going to kind of start getting the young talent ready. And I think that's be a good, solid first WrestleMania feud for Braun Breaker. I think that would be a great match at WrestleMania. I think the two of those guys are good. They're talented. Would it be a compelling story going into it? Probably not. It'd probably just be two athletes. Who's better than who? You claim to be the phenomenal one. And I don't like that. I'm the badass. I'm just speaking on behalf of these two gentlemen. I don't fucking know what's going on. But I could see it being a good match. I could definitely see it being a good match for sure. The question is, WrestleMania. Listen, a lot of times we think in our heads that these matches are going to be great at WrestleMania, and then we get to WrestleMania and they're kind of a letdown. Like a couple of years ago, everybody thought Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso. That might have been last year. Everybody thought that was going to be just an absolute fantastic match, and it was a big letdown. You know what I'm saying? So you got AJ Styles, a constant professional. Braun Breaker's an up-and-coming talent. He's very good at what he does. He's current Intercontinental Champion. Yeah. Hey, Ayo Frankie's in the house. What's up, bud? I appreciate you, man. Will it be a good match? I think it could be. We have a couple other matches. Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu is rumored to be cooking up for WrestleMania this year, and I like that. We have a question. How did AJ Styles do overall in his first time in WWE, in your opinion? I think he did great. He debuted at the Royal Rumble to a great ovation. Had a great feud with John Cena. Has had many title reigns over his. And at this point, Ben Jones, at this point, I'd consider him a WWE guy over anything else because he's been there the longest. He's achieved all the success you can achieve at the level of WWE, and he's had prominent feuds with some of the top legends. John Cena is a fucking Hall of Fame. He's had great matches with John Cena, great matches with Orton. So AJ to me is a WWE guy now. He's not a TNA guy no more. Although with the TNA partnership, I would love to see him go over there one last time, just to kind of because if this is the end of his career, if this is the back nine of AJ's career, then I'd like to see AJ at least go there once, just to kind of, say goodbye to TNA, because it'll probably never happen once he's done with WWE. I think AJ's done. I think AJ knows that. I don't think AJ's going to be holding on. He's not one. Doesn't seem like one of those guys that'll hold on after he retired. Like he's going to be at the indie shows, fucking clinging on to whatever glory days he had. I don't think he's going to be one of those guys. I think he should do that though. Same thing with John Cena. I think John Cena showing up on TNA will help TNA. I see Joe Hendry's trying to push that forward. He did some shit this Thursday. I think we'll talk about that on Monday. I mean, I'll briefly just touch on it. He sang about fighting in the Royal Rumble, and he kind of said something about John Cena. So John Cena had told him, they're not going to make this happen. You're going to have to make it happen, and you're going to have to make the crowd want it. And that's basically what John Cena meant. If you're going to make this happen, you're going to have to go out there and you're going to have to really make the crowd want it. And then, then the brass will take notice, and then you'll get the obligatory, the crazy fucking appearance from John Cena on TNA Wrestling. Or here's the thing: John Cena has a certain amount of dates, written in his contract that he's going to have to meet, and because of a movie that's going on right now, he's compacting all of the dates to the back end of the year. So you're gonna see him a lot. So for the rest of this year, at some point, you're just gonna see John Cena every fucking week. Do they waste one of those for him to go to TNA? I don't think so. To be quite honest with you, I think the smart money would be to bring to bring Joe Hendry to Raw and fight John Cena. I think that would be probably what they would do. But again, do you waste that appearance on Joe Hendry? But again, that's to help TNA. Now that they're doing a partnership, you got to help TNA. And that would be a huge rub for TNA. TNA champion fighting the most decorated guy in WWE history, John Cena. I think that'd be a big. I think that would be a big. I don't say big money match because it probably wouldn't be, but a big moment in history. What's up? This is good to hear. AJ Styles was very impressive to me as well. AJ was good. Sorry, my mic is disconnected. AJ was always good. I liked him in TNA. Everybody wanted the dream match of him versus Shawn Michaels. I thought never happened. We all can literally live in the dream world of if it would have been a knockdown drag out, an absolutely amazing match. Probably would have been. But it could have been a stinker. We don't know. And I like to leave it like that. Like the what if. What if they did compete against each other? You know? People tried to push it a couple of years ago, right before Shawn retired. Well, like as Shawn was retired, because I think when Shawn retired, that's when AJ showed up. I think it was like a year later, 2 years later. So they tried to like coax Shawn out, but it wasn't going to work. But yeah, he's good, man. AJ's a bona fide WWE Hall of Famer. Like I said, he's a WWE guy. And I don't even consider him a TNA worker, like at all. I mean, I don't know if he wants to be considered a TNA worker. I don't know. I don't think so. But listen, he'll reflect on his career. AJ Styles has had a fantastic career. And I hate to say this, I hate to, pun intended, but he's had a phenomenal career. He really has. That being said, let's go to a up-and-coming star. WWE NXT's Ricky Saints, Jesus Christ, that fucking name, a.k.a. Ricky Starks, opens up about asking for his AEW release. So he showed up a couple weeks ago on NXT. He signed his deal this past Tuesday, unveiling his new name, Ricky Saints. I don't know. Ricky Starks is much better. Yeah. So he was on Busted Open After Dark, and he was talking. I guess he opened up a little bit about what had happened, and he says it's like trying to find love in the same place that you lost it. Saints said. At a certain point, it's not possible. At a certain point, you have to be honest with yourself, and that's where I was. Okay, I've gotten here 14 years on my own. Saints continued. Didn't have a handout nor a name to put a good word in for me. Everything was done by me, by myself, and that is how it's going to be until I am dead. So no, it wasn't scary when he got released. He's referring to. He's happily in NXT. He wasn't happy in AEW. Obviously, AEW that's going to be my Tony's takes for the end of the episode. Is going to be my just whole take on AEW and why people don't like it, and why even the workers don't want to be there. Listen, it's my take. You don't like it, you don't have to, but I don't care. I'm going to have it at the end of the show. But I'm happy to see he's here. I'm interested to see where it goes. I will apologize for last week. I played Fantasy Booker. Hey, Action Figure Addicts in the house. I played Fantasy Booker, and I said that Ricky Saints should take on Tony D'Angelo for the North American Championship, not even realizing that this fucking forgettable guy, the forgettable 10, Sean Spears, shows up and attacks him, and they're going off into a thing with each other. I didn't even know. That's how forgettable Sean Spears is. Can we all just agree that guy is a complete zero? Like, I mean, Jesus Christ. That guy he was in WWE, I didn't even know. He goes to AEW, I didn't even know who he was. He comes back to WWE, didn't even know he came back, still didn't know who he was. Guy's forgettable, that's all I'm saying. So, I apologize for the mess up on the Fantasy Booker last week, but again, when you're forgettable, you're forgettable. It's just the way it is. This week's Fantasy Booker, though, we're gonna have a little fun with The Rock, because The Rock's that's my next big news, is The Rock announced that he's coming out on SmackDown tonight. What's he doing? Nobody knows. I can guarantee you that it's literally going to be him just doing the dumb shit that he does. Not to say like the promo and shit, like coming out, putting over people that you don't really care about. Because I don't see him setting up for a match. because he just signed a movie deal with Martin Scorsese. So he's going to be doing a big movie with him now. So I don't know what the hell's going on with The Rock. The Rock, I assume, is going to be far away from WrestleMania this year. He ain't going to be nowhere near it. If he is, let's play some fantasy booker, right? So, but we'll get to that in a second. Let me just check the news cycle here. I don't think there's much news, like I said, to begin with. But yeah, I really don't see anything. Listen, we said all we could about AEW, or whether it's Grand Slam or Dynamite itself. I don't want to pile on. So I don't want to go into the news and just start like reading all this shit about AEW and then just talking shit about AEW. The last news thing I'll do is Kofi Kingston he took to Twitter today on a video. I don't know if it was Twitter or another social media site, basically calling the wrestling fans dumb because he said on Raw that he had been in WWE longer than Rey Mysterio Jr. And everybody said that, no, you're a bullshit artist because Rey debuted in 2003, you debuted in 2006. How could you have been there longer? Now, I don't mean this guy, but I got to agree with Kofi Kingston. Kofi was referring to the cumulative time that they've both been in WWE. Now, between the injuries and suspensions for steroids and the exit where he went and went off and did his own thing, Rey Mysterio has had quite a few gaps in time between his 2003 to now time in WWE. There was I would say 5 or 6 year gap where he was in AAA, CMLL, Lucha Underground, wrestled in the Indies a little bit, I think MLW. So he was around. He wasn't in WWE while Kofi was pounding the pavement. So Kofi went online. He basically said to everybody, "You're a bunch of morons, a bunch of marks. You have no idea what the hell you're talking about, but you want to talk to him like he's the liar, like he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about." That just brings me to this, and I have to tip my cap to some of these WWE guys and even AEW guys. I like when they work the internet. I like when they work it in their favor, where they go on Twitter and write a tweet like Drew McIntyre does a lot. There's like cryptic tweets, or he talks shit, or like what Kofi just did, what Kevin Owens is doing. He's cutting a promo from his cock. He just doesn't care no more because he just wants to fight Sami Zayn and shit like that, and they're working the internet. I like how they're doing that. You have to do that in this day and age. Like, that's the only way promos are going to work. You have to work the internet. You have to work the internet to your favor, And I think some of these guys are starting to figure it out, and they're starting to do a bang-up job on it. So in Kofi Kingston, that was cool, man. I like the fact that these guys turned heel. These guys went from being one of the most popular groups in WWE to now they can't even get a word out without getting booed out of the building. And that's pretty impressive, man. When you can do that, I got to tip my cap to you. When you go from full-on baby to full-on heel, and it's seamless, because they did it seamlessly, and they did it brilliantly by turning on fucking Big E. Like, we were getting to that point where you were like, who's going to turn on who? Is Kofi going to turn on this guy? Is Xavier going to turn on Kofi? Which one they're going to turn heel? Which one they're going to keep babyface? No, they did something that no one expected, and they turned them both heel on fucking Big E. It's little things like that make me enjoy Triple H's WWE. Like, it's like right decisions like that, or creative decisions like that, where you're like, I like what they did there. That was good. Like, I like what they did on Monday with Braun Breaker and AJ. They're setting shit up. So I like how it's going. I know some people, like I said, they're not excited about it, and I get it. You want to be excited for WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania season. I totally understand. But listen, let it cook. They just started throwing the ingredients in the pot. Let it fucking ferment before it smells the house. Like when you walk in your house on Sunday, and your grandparents, your parents are making fucking Sunday sauce, and it smells, the whole house smells like tomato sauce and fucking garlic and rosemary and parsley, and you're like, ooh, I can't wait to fucking eat. Let it get there. It's not there yet. They just fucking put the water on the goddamn pot. They just set up Jey Uso and Gunther. They just set up Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte. They're setting up AJ and Braun. They're setting up Solo and Jacob Fatu. They're going to set up CM Punk, Roman, and Seth. They're setting that this WrestleMania card is going to shape up to be pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. If you're a wrestling fan, it's going to be good. Cody versus, like I said, I could see Cody versus John Cena one night, and then Cody versus the winner of that triple threat the next night. I can see that for sure. because he did it last year. He wrestled twice, so it wouldn't even shock me. You know, the question is, and here's the thing. Yeah, let's fucking do it. We're going right to Fantasy Booker right now. Let's go to Fantasy Booker. The Rock is coming out on Smack. What happened, baby? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Put the Mattel Creations poll on here. I sent you. That counts as wrestling. Oh, shit. Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay. So that'll be the last thing from the feed. Thank you so much, Action Figure Addict. So now I don't have it all around me. I'm not going to go searching for it. But the Major Brothers podcast posted up a like a poll because Mattel Creations is asking. They want to come up with another WWE scale crowd-funded project, and they don't know what to do. So the Major Brothers had the Punjabi prison match, the modern Elimination Chamber, Hell in the Cell, some weird page from the 80s, I think NWA, and then the original Elimination Chamber. Me personally, obviously it's one of the chambers. Pick your poison. I don't care. Either your original look or the modern look. Either way, I would back that. That's cool as shit. A fucking Hell in the Cell, not a Hell in the Cell, Elimination Chamber. Hell in the Cell too. I would be cool with, all War Games, but old school War Games, the WCW one, where it's the cage with the top. Now, obviously, if you put a top on your cage, you can't play with your toys. I get it, but you can have the back out and do it from the back. That's just me. I don't know, but I would want that. You can do Hell in the Cell with a fucking top, and Elimination Chamber with a fucking top. You can do the goddamn War Games on the top, but it's on their Instagram, the Major Brothers podcast. What's up? Oh, I hope the old Elimination Chamber wins. I wouldn't be surprised, actually. You're right. Yeah, I'll back the Chamber. I would back the Chamber. Either one. Either one I'd back. But Punjabi Prison, no fucking idea why you would put that up there. You know what else? Action Figure Addict. You know what else should go up there? And somebody suggested it a couple of fucking weeks ago on one of my streams. The Triple Cage from WCW. And I know it was in a time when WCW was dog shit and we made fun of it. And you know, David Arquette was the goddamn champion and no one gave a shit. Trust me, I know. But fucking that cage was cool. That cage was fucking badass. So if you give me that, I would back that too. I would back Hell in the Cell, but Hell in the Cell would have to be a good. It's just a cage over a ring, so it'd have to be a good price. Like I wouldn't back it if it was fucking $200. Like get the fuck out of here. It's a cage. Like you can make that yourself. You know, so the Elimination Chamber is a little harder because it better be real chain. Like it better be real chain going through that structure, like the actual Elimination Chamber. And Alpha, that's probably what it's going to be. It's going to be Elimination Chamber for sure. But I'd be in on that. You know, I have the figures company, the figure toy company ring. I don't have a WWE ring, but it's a 20 by 20, so it'll probably fit. What? Yeah, one behind me. I do want a WWE one. I want that Mattel Creations one, but I don't want to spend $150. I was going to buy the metal one from the same website, but it's $250. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I don't need a wrestling ring that bad. I already got one. So, but yeah, probably Elimination Chamber. That'll probably be the winner for sure, bud. But let's get to Fantasy Book, man. Let's jump ahead. A bit of Fantasy Book. Yeah, I am. Thank you. Okay, we're going to play some Fantasy Booker now. The Rock is showing up tonight on SmackDown. We don't know what he's going to do. I was reading a second ago that they're trying to rework SmackDown because he's going to be on it. I don't know if he's going to be at WrestleMania, but if he would be. If he was coming to WrestleMania. Right now, things are starting to get set in stone. So there's certain things that he can't do. Where would you put The Rock? Where would we put The Rock at WrestleMania right now? If he decides that he's going to show up tonight and say that he is going to be at WrestleMania, who's it going to be? Is it going to be Cody Rhodes? Is he going to tell Cody, I want my shot? Or is he, I mean, the best bet would have been coming out at the Royal Rumble, not being in the Rumble, but coming out at the Royal Rumble and costing Roman the match, or costing Roman the Tribal Chief match on the first Raw on Netflix. That would have been interesting because then, like maybe Solo would have given The Rock, the Ulafala, and then Rock would have declared himself not only the final boss, but the tribal chief, the tribal boss, if you will. You know, and, yeah, the Croc. And then we run off to WrestleMania. Who's going to be the actual tribal chief? Tribal combat: The Rock versus Roman Reigns. Would have been a great story. But now Roman Reigns is going off to this shit with Seth and Punk. Now here's the thing: as we've learned last year, The Rock can just walk in and say, "I don't." You gotta, even though you won the Rumble, take your back seat because I want to fight. Right? And the audience dictated that wasn't going to work for them. That's why it switched. We put the Croc on the pre-show. I don't think that's going to happen. Not when he's the boss, bud. Not when he's the boss. So, yeah, promote his tequila. Yeah. But where would you put him? And here's where I would put him. I would have Cody not wrestle twice. I'd have John Cena versus The Rock. I think that would be a good match for John Cena. Now, I think John Cena already wrestled The Rock. I'm not sure. Yes, he did. He wrestled him twice. What am I doing? I'm a fucking moron. He wrestled him twice. Third one. They never had a third final decision of who's the best, right? Rock won one, John won the other. The third decision, like that's what they did with The Rock and Austin. Remember, Austin won twice. He won twice. He beat him at 17, and then who was it? He beat him at 17 when he went heel, and in 15. I'm sorry, when he was a babyface. So the Rock, Austin beat The Rock at 15, and then 17, and then The Rock got his in 19. I think there should be a rubber match between the two of them. I think that would be cool. So I don't, obviously that wouldn't happen, but that'd be cool if it did. Maybe like John Cena's out cutting a promo tonight on SmackDown, and Cena wrestled the Croc twice. Yeah, Cena lost the first, won the second. Yeah, exactly. No, it all came back to me with one flash of marijuana smoke. But I think they should have a rubber match. So if I'm playing fantasy poker with The Rock, if you're gonna put The Rock somewhere, don't take anything away from the young guys that are building something special. John Cena's John Cena. He's on his fucking retirement tour. A little bit of a rubber match to see who really is still the best. I'd be okay with that. All right. Doesn't have to be the main event neither, right? It'd just be like pre-main or on second half of the card. Could be night 1, night 2. Doesn't matter where you put it. It's still going to sell tickets because it's Rock versus John Cena. I know we've seen it twice, but if you got nothing for The Rock, if The Rock wants to be on WrestleMania, not to say that he wants to be on WrestleMania, not to say that he's going to be on WrestleMania. Like I said, he just signed a movie deal with Martin Scorsese, so he's going to be making big movies, another big movie soon. So who knows if he even wants to fucking wrestle? But if he does, I think it should be John Cena. I think John Cena would be a good fit. Because it's just like, if John Cena lost, he gets nothing out of it. If The Rock loses, The Rock doesn't get anything out of it. It doesn't, like, so there's nothing really, like if The Rock wrestles Cody, like there's something there. And if The Rock wins, now what do you do? Now The Rock's got the WWE title. He's going to make a fucking movie. So what are we going to do? The Roman Reigns bullshit again where the WWE champion disappears? Cody's been he's been prominently on TV with that title every week since he won it. It's going to be another shock to the system. People aren't going to like it. I don't think they would do something like that. But like I said, I don't think The Rock is going to wrestle at WrestleMania. I need to stress that. I don't want somebody saying, "Oh, you said he's going to do this." No, this is what I think. Put him in a ladder match for the People's Championship. Alpha, would you count that as a world championship if John Cena wins it? Does that count as 17? Like, do we count that, or is that just some bullshit? Like I said, that's why I don't like that stupid belt. Why does he come out with it? It makes no fucking sense. I understand they gifted it to him at the Hall of Fame, and it's meant to be hung in your office. You're the People's Champ. Congratulations. Hang it in your fucking office. You can look at it while you're on the phone making business deals. Why are you carrying it? He's going to have it tonight on SmackDown. He'll have it tonight. He'll come out with it. And you'll scratch your head and go, why? A title is a title. Count it. All right. I mean, I guess. That's what I'm saying. Is that what Cena says? Like he loses the chamber and goes, well, I need to win some belt. I want that one because I was the champion of the people for years. I mean, think about it. John Cena was the only wrestler that was both heel and face at the very same time. How many wrestlers can say that? John Cena is the only guy to get a mixed reaction his entire career until now. Now everybody appreciates him. But when he was in his heyday, fuck, when he was fighting The Rock, they all hated him. You would see that crowd was split with Johnny. You know, but like I said, that's why I think it would, and it has like this history there. There's history there. What about Bret Hart? What about Bret? Bret Hart can't wrestle. Bret Hart is fucking older than dirt at this point. Bret Hart's lucky he can get out of bed. You know, like fucking. That's the thing. Like guys like Shawn and Undertaker and Triple H and Bret, they can't do those things anymore. You know, look at John Cena. When you look at John, buddy, I watched John Cena come into the company. Why? I watched him come in, smack Kurt Angle. I watched that SmackDown. You know, and back then I was like, this guy's not gonna last. And he almost didn't. And to see how far he's come. And Bret Hart was already retired by that point. Bret Hart can't do anything. Bret Hart, like I said, he's old as shit. He can't. You know, when you want WrestleMania has to have a certain. You have to be able to perform to a certain level of WrestleMania. WrestleMania is like the Super Bowl. He was a heel here and a face in Canada. Oh, no. Yeah, I see what you're talking about now. No, see, John Cena, it was split everywhere he went. Like the crowd was, let's go Cena, Cena sucks. Let's go Cena, Cena sucks. That was his thing. When he would come out into the music, John Cena sucks, John Cena sucks. And then like all the crowd, the other half of the crowd would go bananas for hustle, loyalty, respect, right? And Bret would come to America at that one point and they'd hate his guts. And then he'd go to Canada and the place would explode. That's a different kind of reaction. Bret was technically a heel. He just wasn't a heel in Canada. That was, I think, the only difference. With John Cena, in Canada, he got that same treatment. In America, he got that treatment. He got that treatment in France. He got that treatment in Japan. He got it everywhere. That split shit. Where Bret only really got it. He got booed in America because he was a heel in America, and he got cheered everywhere else mostly, but really cheered in Canada. So it doesn't really have the same. Like there's no. I mean, I understand what you mean by that. He was a heel and face. So there's a little similarities there, but in terms of the reactions in the building, there, nothing like John Cena's reactions. Crazy. It was crazy. And like I said, people now appreciate John Cena. They did not appreciate him back then. You know, that's what I'm saying. There's history there with The Rock. The Rock really has nothing. So if he was going to do something WrestleMania, I think it would be cool as shit to see the rubber match between him and Johnny Boy. That's my fantasy booker for this week. When he feuded with Austin, the reaction. Yeah. Here's the thing. That is what we refer to as the double switch, the infamous double switch. Okay, because he wasn't supposed to go heel. That wasn't supposed to happen, right? They did. You could just see it happening because of what was going on at the times. Bret was getting very crybaby. He was becoming a very like a malcontent. So the crowd was starting to notice it. You couldn't hide it no more. That's why it brought out on television. He turned heel at WrestleMania because at that point people were already behind the Austin bandwagon because of the whole promos and everything like that, and they had already had such a great feud, and that was going to be the blow off. But at that point, the shit Austin was talking, and at the rate Austin was talking that shit, there was no way to go but a double switch. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think they expected it to go as well as it did because no one expected that. No one expected that. When Bret did the sharpshooter and he held it in place, and Shamrock takes him off and belly to bellies him or belly to backs him off and things like that. No one expected Bret to go heel. No one expected Austin to go babyface. I can guarantee you that. But it was happening. I could see it. You know, so because I remember, I liked Austin. Austin made me laugh, but I knew Austin was the bad guy, and I loved Bret. But after WrestleMania 13, when Bret left and Austin refused help and basically walked out on his own, bleeding on his head, that crowd was booing Austin when he went in at that fucking street fight. They were booing him. But at the end, they were cheering him. And I remember watching that WrestleMania going, something's going on here with Steve Austin. All of a sudden, you could feel it. It was that. Like I said, you remember the promo from the year ago from Austin 316 says, I just whipped your ass. We all remember that promo, but nobody remembers the run from there to the Blood and the Stone, as they call it, from WrestleMania 13. Nobody really cares about that run. When he said it at King of the Ring, and then just kind of through the mid cards all the way up until November when he started calling Brett out. Late October when he started calling Brett out, and Brett came back at Survivor Series. Nobody really gave a shit about Austin. And then Austin had his little moment at the Royal Rumble, which was taken away because he cheated. And then Brett became the champion again, but because everybody was at each other's throats at that time, because Shawn was a fucking psycho and Brett was angry, Vince didn't know what to do. That's why Sid was unfortunately the champion at that point. Because Psycho Sid, while I like Psycho Sid, had no business being the champion. He didn't. But I think they took the belt off Shawn at Survivor Series because Vince was like, this guy doesn't want to do business. He doesn't want to lose the belt to Brett like he agreed. Like he was supposed to be Brett and Shawn at WrestleMania 12, then Brett and Shawn at WrestleMania 13 rematch where Brett gets his receipt. That didn't happen. Or he could clearly see that wasn't going to happen. That's why he put the belt on Sid. Then Shawn is like, yeah, okay. Shawn gets the belt back in January. Then all of a sudden, in February, loses his smile. No, he didn't lose his smile. He just lost the motivation to lose to Brett. He didn't want to lose to Brett. So it was like a whole fucking thing. So that's why Brett got, and all that shit came to light, and that's why Brett turned heel. It was so weird how Brett turned heel. But it happened. I guess the Croc ain't wrestling. He gave up the title. He gave up that title. He ain't giving up that title. I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. John Cena's not going to win. But if John Cena doesn't win, John Cena doesn't win. He's retiring. He gives a shit. The Rock can keep the belt. The Rock can win. John Cena doesn't need the rub anymore. John Cena's done. So it doesn't matter who wins. It truly doesn't matter who wins. What's that? All right, good. When he feuded, yeah, we just talked about that. Truly divided the crowd back then. I thought it was Shamrock was something to do with it. Yes and no, but like nobody expected it. Like he was supposed. I guarantee you. Like I guarantee you. Now this is just me speculating because I used to be a wrestler, but I guarantee you that was an audible. He was probably supposed to belly to back Austin or something, and they called that differently because unless they just knew we're doing a double switch, Brett, you're going heel. But I don't think so because it just kind of happened organically because Brett just kept complaining and America just kind of turned on him because he kept comparing us to Canada and how we weren't good enough. We weren't like Canadians. That's the whole fucking shit that kind of turned him was the shit like, oh, Canadians are good people. Americans are shit. That was basically his thing. That was how he sold it. Austin's a piece of shit. Or Shawn Michaels is a piece of shit. They're Americans. America sucks. Like, that's how he turned. Like it was like a weird turn. Like you didn't expect. Because let me tell you something. If the world itself wasn't heading in that direction, because the whole world was heading in the Attitude Era. That wasn't just wrestling. Okay, because Jerry Springer, all the shit on TV, Howard Stern, it was all going that way. So it all like WWE and wrestling kind of emulates pop culture, or it sometimes sets the tone for pop culture, and that's what it essentially did in the Attitude Era. That's basically all it was. Cena will get his 7th. The question is when. Don't be surprised if it's the TNA Championship. He beats fucking Joe Hendry. That'd be sick. That would be sick. Let me come down now to Tony's takes. And listen, I've been going back and forth with this shit all week. I don't know what I wanted to do. Last week was the best run of CM Punk's career. And this week is why everybody doesn't want to work at AEW. And the ones that do don't really say anything, never really say how great it is. And I'm only making this my topic because I saw a funny ass video that I almost fell off the chair. They were showing like the end of every AEW press conference where Tony Khan hugs the wrestler, right? And they show like the intensity in which he hugs these people, and you see his face. He's like, "I love you so much. You're the best. right? The way he's hugging him, and then they show Samoa Joe like literally strong arm him and just shake his hand and then just get the fuck off stage. And he got up to hug him, and he's just standing there looking at the crowd like, I guess Joe didn't want to be hugged, right? Right there is why nobody's happy about being an AEW. Okay, because I think in that moment when you work at those fucking press conferences and he hugs you that way, it's in the moment you think to yourself, oh fuck, this guy's a mark. Like, you know, I know he's a billionaire, but fuck, he's a mark. He's such a fan. Like, you don't even realize it, you know? And then as you work and you start to realize that the stories don't go nowhere, the booking is shit, you get lost in the shuffle, you don't wind up on television for months, it's because he's so fucking in over his head, he has no idea what to do, who to ask for help anymore. And I think the people he's asked for help have tried and they couldn't get through to him, so now they don't want to help him. And the ones that do want to help him, he does not want their help because he knows that if he allows them to help him, he then has to relinquish control. And he does not want to relinquish that control. He strong-armed all the wrestlers out that were with him, like all those VPs. That's why they're not on television anymore. That's why they're not even fucking... Like Kenny Omega's there and shit like that, but like, where the Bucks? They don't fucking... They probably don't even be there no one either. You know, they're like, no one wants to be there no more because they see how it's going. It's like they're eating each other. That's why all these people leave angry. Like, if you notice people leave WWE, they're shocked. They're upset. Because they wanted to stay. They don't want to leave. They got asked to leave. So, but AEW is the opposite. AEW, the wrestlers are saying, I want out. I don't want to be here no more. CM Punk said right to his face, this place sucks, and you're a joke. And everybody, like, I was looking at this stuff on the internet, and everybody talking shit about like CM Punk, and now like he's a bust, and this one is a bust, Jade Cargill's a bust, and Ricky Starks will be a bust because they don't know how to use them, man. They were great in AEW. Were they? Were they? Is it Ricky Starks hasn't been on TV in fucking what seems like months. So were they better off at AEW? No, they weren't. AEW was dog shit. It's terrible. And listen, I've made my wife watch it, who is a layman. She doesn't know nothing about pro wrestling. She only knows what we tell her. And she watched it and said to me, this is her words, not mine. This just seems like somebody with money who's running an independent promotion. That's what she said to me. I didn't tell her to say that. And she's not fucking wrong. She's not wrong. That's what it is. I've produced enough independent wrestling to know when a fucking idiot is running it. And an idiot is running this company right now. He doesn't know what he's doing. You can't treat your talent like friends. You got to treat them like employees. Got to set boundaries. That is what I'm talking about. You know? Like, you hug people like that. Like, what are you fucking doing? You see Triple H do that? No. Triple H takes the obligatory picture backstage. This exact one. Arm around the person like this. Every fucking time, right? Every time. It's the same picture. That's professional. I'm the boss. You're the fucking wrestler. Thank you for being my champion. Thank you for letting us put our stock in you. We appreciate you. Here's my picture with you. Not this. Oh, God, yes. Thank you so much for wrestling with me. But come on, dude. You look like a fucking moron. They're not going to take you seriously, and they don't take him seriously. Kenny Omega is no longer EVP. Stepped down after diverticulitis scare. Okay, so now he's got full control of this fucking moron. It's scary. It's scary. I don't know who said it. A wrestler said it. They only give that company but a few more years before it starts to get real bleak. And it's already getting there. Your world champion comes out to crickets. Nobody cheers. Nobody boos. Deadpan reaction. That is the worst reaction you can. That's worse than go home heat. That's worse than go away heat. You have any idea what that means? That means you have put the entire crowd to sleep. That they would rather look at their phone. They would rather see what's going on TNA. They'd rather see what's going on NXT. They'd rather see what's going on and give this a few weeks on Evolve before they see what's going on right in front of them. You've lost this shit. You have no fucking idea what you're doing. You want to be smart about this? Bring in a smart team of people to run your show, and you sit to the back, sign the fucking checks, and shut your fucking mouth. You are not Vince McMahon. And even Vince can't do that shit no more. Like I said before at the beginning of the show, he was getting senile. It was getting bad. Like terrible bad. Like all-time low. And they fucking pushed him out because they knew it wasn't working no more. It's going to happen here. The problem is there's nobody to turn around to him. There's no board of directors. There's no team to say, fuck, dude, you're in over your head. You gotta relinquish this. This ain't for you. This is like the Cowboys and Jerry Jones. He wants to be the general manager and the owner. You can't do that shit. Not working. What happened? Yeah, bring him up. The Wrestling with Shadows, Brett said he saw it coming with the crowd. Yes, I mean, we all saw it. Man, Joseph, we all saw it. It just, you didn't think it was going to explode to the level that it did. You just thought that he was, all right, he's going to go face a little bit. But you didn't see like, oh my God, this thing is fucking massive. It wasn't until WrestleMania 13. It wasn't until WrestleMania 13. Because when he did that little promo, it was cool. And the only reason you popped was because he said, Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. He doesn't say ass at the end of that promo. It's lost in fucking history. It really is. Because at that time, nobody was cursing. He cursed. He was the first one to curse. And I referred to you in January of that very same year when Big Daddy Cool Diesel gave The Undertaker the middle finger and everybody went bananas for it. It was that. And then Austin was like, ooh, okay, I can get a little edgy. They like the edge. And he got edgy. And it started to kind of show through. And the problem was you had this bad motherfucker going up against the Boy Scout and Bret Hart. That's what it was, a perfect clash of styles. Bret was a nice, good baby face, and Austin was this miserable piece of shit. And it was a great chemistry between the two of them. The problem was, and it wasn't even a problem. The thing was, the world was going towards Austin. The whole world was going towards that attitude Austin had. That's why Austin went face. Austin could have been a white hot baby, a white hot heel. As is, he could have been a white hot heel, but the whole environment, the whole world was going in that direction. So that's why we anointed him as our guy, because he was our voice. Because everybody felt the way Austin felt, and that's why he was able to win us all over. But also, listen, Austin was great, man. Why he still hasn't hired writers and bookers is anyone's guess. Action Figure Addict, I think this is the discussion amongst all wrestling fans, amongst all pro wrestlers, amongst bookers, promoters, everybody. You know, he wants complete control. That's the only answer people can come to, is he doesn't want to relinquish that control, because he knows once he brings in a smart writer or a smart booker, they're going to turn around him and say, this is not good, you're a moron. You're booking like a mark. You have to stop booking like a mark. You're booking like I just gave you a copy of WWE 2K24, and you're just taking the controller and you're booking how you want. Real pro wrestling doesn't work that way. It's got to have a story. You got to make it compelling. It's got to be entertaining. It's got to catch people. You're not catching people, man. You're not catching nobody. You're just doing what you want. And even worse, you're letting the wrestlers do what they want. You can't do that. The best thing a fucking promoter and a booker can do is make a wrestler believe that what he is doing was his idea when it was really your idea. That's really what a job of a booker and a promoter is. A promoter is really to promote the show. So if it's two separate entities, but usually if you're a promoter, you're a booker too. But the job of a booker is to convince the workers to do what you want them to do, but make it seem like they came up with it. You got to make them believe. You got to make them suspend their disbelief. Because if you can make the workers suspend their disbelief, then you can make the fucking people suspend their disbelief. So it's all about that. You got to work with them. You got to convince them. You got to make them buy into your vision. No one's buying into Tony Khan's vision, because Tony Khan has no fucking vision. There's no creative juice. There's nothing there. Even when it first started, it was the fucking Bucks. It was Cody. They were the ones that were feeding the creativity, because it was new. It was different. It was a new company. And people wanted to be a part of it. But now people are a part of it. They want out as soon as they get in. I mean, William Regal was there for fucking 3 months before he came crawling back to WWE. And I know he didn't want to leave WWE. That's the whole thing. He didn't even want to leave WWE. He had to leave because there was somebody there that he wasn't getting along with. So he left. He went to AEW, and he probably when he went to AEW, saw how it was run, turned around and was like, you know what? I think I'll deal with that fucking guy. And probably just wanted to go back. You have any idea how happy Malekith or Alistair Black, whatever you want to call him, how happy he is right now that he is knowing that he's going back to a WWE that is run by the guy who believed in him in NXT, Triple H. He can't wait to get back there. Now, I'm not so sure on Miro. I don't know what they would do with Rusev. I don't know how he would fit into the WWE landscape nowadays. I mean, he's a great worker, and I'm sure he would be a major help to them. Put him on SmackDown. But I just don't see why they would need him. They got Gunther. You know? I don't know. Like baseball in the old days, indentured servitude. Just kidding. It really is. It really is. But listen, I would love for AEW to be good. Because then that means there's something else for us to watch. Something else for us to enjoy as a wrestler. But it's not good. It's very bad. And I've tried twice now. I gave it a full 2-year break. For 2 full years, I didn't watch AEW. I stopped watching AEW in 2022. I got lectured. I got yelled at. If I don't like it, stop watching it. And I said, you're right. And I stopped watching it. I went back to watch it this past year because we brought all this new stuff back. So I needed to start watching it so I can get caught up. And what I saw didn't surprise me because it was literally what it was 2 years ago. Same exact segments at the same exact time. I'll tell you this right now. Every fucking Wednesday at 9:30, it's their women's segment. Every fucking time. It's the same segments in the same time. Jericho comes out at 10 with the Learning Tree segment. The Death Riders come out at 8:45. Like, you'll start to set your watch by it. Do it. You're like, oh, shit, he's right. They come out at the same fucking time every day. You can literally set your breaks. I go make a sandwich at 9:30 because I know it's coming. You know, like I said, just you watch it again. If you could subject yourself to it for 2 hours, set your watch to it, and tell me that I'm not wrong. It's fucking crazy. In the beginning, it had potential. Of course, action figure addict. At the beginning, WCW had potential. At the beginning, ECW had potential. At the beginning, companies always have potential because it's new, it's fresh, it's exciting. TNA, Total Nonstop Action, and Impact, it all had that fucking same thing. The difference is, does it have staying power? TNA did, proved everybody wrong because I thought TNA was going to go out of business in a matter of years when it hit that real bad time. And they didn't. They pressed through the storm, and now look at them. Don't be surprised if WWE winds up buying this shit, AEW. I don't know, they probably will close up shop and just have the library, but still, like I just don't see this. I don't see it being sustainable. I have a feeling that his father at some point is going to turn around and go, this is starting to lose money, a lot of money. And, you know, I know it makes money now, and it might, but it's. I heard that it's going on the decline. It's starting to lose money because the shows don't sell out. It's literally just they had to borrow a ring from a wrestler in Australia because they couldn't get a ring over. You have a premium live event in Australia. You can't ship a ring over? You can't have them build a ring over here, over in Australia? Send it from Japan? Don't you have a deal with New Japan? Why can't they help you? What the fuck? It's shit like that. It's amateur hour over there at AEW. That's why it's not working. That's why guys don't want to be there. That's why people hate it. And the ones that aren't saying anything, the ones that seem like they're happy to be there, either they're getting a lot of money to shut the fuck up, or they don't want to go to WWE because they don't want to have their gimmick either watered down or changed because they like what they got set up here in AEW. I'm just telling you what I see as an outside watcher of it. It's bad. It's not good. And it needs to change if you want it to have some sustainability, some staying power. And if you want guys to want to come there, like when they first started, Action Figure Addict's not kidding. It had potential because guys that were leaving WWE were rushing to go there. They couldn't wait to get there. And now they can't wait to come back. And you're going to sit here and tell me that everybody, they're making good use of Ricochet? Ricochet is exactly where he belongs. Ricochet wasn't going to make it in WWE, and he knew it. So now he's trying to be a big fish in a small pond. The only difference is this fucking guy doesn't know how to use his fish. So you're just going to be swimming in circles. because that's what's happening over there with him right now. He's fighting over a coat. Now, don't get me wrong. I know it has some significance to the fallen Jimmy Rave. May he rest in peace. But a lot of people don't know about that. You got to be a fucking hardcore ROH fan to know about that. ROH, babe, do you know about a Ring of Honor? No. How the fuck is that? If she does, it's a layman. The laymans aren't going to understand that. You buffoon. And I don't know if they cut a promo about it. And quite frankly, I don't care because I didn't watch AEW this past Wednesday. Because it sucks. Again, that was my take for this week. I'm sorry that I was a little angry and negative. I don't want to be negative. I'm telling you this right now. But AEW is dog shit. It's not good. Here's another one for you. Just Jeff. Jeffrey's not here today. He's probably busy. But Just Jeff has tried to watch AEW. Jeff doesn't know shit about wrestling. He couldn't get through it. He was texting me going, what the fuck am I watching? He had no idea. So if I wanted to get you into pro wrestling, I couldn't make you watch AEW. It would turn you away from pro wrestling. But yet some of these AEW diehards are telling me that WWE sucks. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You're going to sit here and tell me that you're a tastemaker? And you're going to tell me that what I like sucks and what you like is good? And I've tried to watch your shit multiple times? And that just goes to make me realize that you don't know shit about pro wrestling. If you're going to sit here and tell me that that's better. If you think AEW is better, you're dumber than I give you credit for. Plain and simple. Now, it's one thing if you love pro wrestling and you just want to watch pro wrestling and it's pro wrestling, so you're going to watch it on Wednesdays. You're going to watch TNA. I'm going to start watching TNA on Thursdays now. Malik gave me his TNA fucking is a subscription so I can watch it. Because it seems like a compelling television from the clips that I saw. Fucking Obi Fema showed up. Elias showed up. That's another point. Elias sides with them. They cut a promo with Bobby Dutch, my boy Bill, and fucking Vincent. And then a week later, he shows up on TNA. He pulled out from the deal. Boy, I come at an interesting time. Hey, Jeff, what's up, bud? We're just talking about you. I'm just doing my Tony's takes for the week, and it's about how shitty AEW. Man, fucking A. Listen, that's all I'm going to say. That was my take for the fucking week. Please, watch it back when I clip this out and I play it on the fucking False Finish in a couple hours. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me today, man. We got through this. Listen, there wasn't that much in the news feed. That's why I really didn't want to bore people with it. Yeah. But I appreciate everybody hanging out. Excuse me. I will be live on my other channel. Most of you know because you're from that channel. Tonight at 11:05 for the pre-roll. But catch Spot Monkey Radio every Monday morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're on False Finish Productions with me, Malik, Mike, and my lovely wife and producer. We break down the shows. We talk, our perspectives. I thought you were talking about someone in chat. No, I'm talking about Tony Khan. He's a fucking moron. And AEW and how much it sucks. But yeah, it gets me fired up, Jeff. But so please check that out, man. I appreciate it. I break this up and I put it up in clips on False Finish. So if you just want to watch back the clips, whether it's Tony's takes or Fantasy Booker, it'll be up on there in a little bit. I'm gonna put it out as soon as I'm popped on. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for hanging out. We'll be back next Friday, 2 p.m. on your dial. I told my wife before, if I was smart, I would promote the wrestling show, the MMA show that we're going to do tomorrow. But if you're in Queens and you want to fucking go and watch some mixed martial arts, go over to Amazura, NYC event space, Jamaica, Queens. Whoever you're pissed off at, Tony, you have a gift. Oh, yes, that is a fact. Don't forget the Mattel Creations poem. Yes, I'm going to put that up too. To talk about that because, listen, the Elimination Chamber is going to win. If that's an actual poll, action figure addict, the Chamber is going to win. It's just a question of which chamber. Is it going to be the modern one or is it going to be the classic one? Now, me and you, we're old cats. We're old souls, right? We want the old school chamber, right? I remember watching that first chamber. A little bit of a spoiler alert. I actually shed a tear when Shawn Michaels won because I did not expect Shawn Michaels to win the world title. I fell off my couch, and there were moments in my life where I remember marking out, and that is one of them. Where I literally cried to see one of my favorite wrestlers overcome his drug problem, overcome being away for fucking 5 years, and to be back on top of the game as the champion. It was amazing. I want the Circle Chamber. Yeah, me too. A big old school. Yeah. Also, fun fact about that first Elimination Chamber, Rob Van Dam crushed Triple H's larynx. Larynx, right? His throat. Larynx. And Triple H had to go for surgery right after the match. Finished the match. There was no. I don't know if you know Triple H, but Triple H has a giant schnoz. So it was no issue for him. Oh my God, I love you, Paul Levesque. Please hire me if you can. I mean that with all due respect. Triple H can take a good joke. I know he can. But yeah, man. So I think it would be the old school Elimination Chamber. They were just playing on WWE's YouTube. This is another thing I love about WWE's YouTube. If you don't follow WWE's YouTube, I don't know what you're doing. And they have an NXT one now, and they just play live feeds. Like they had the best of the Elimination Chamber, and they played all the Chamber matches all day last weekend. So you can just go on WWE's YouTube now and just watch fucking shit. We get figures though. Are there gonna be tiers? If there's gonna be tiers, then you should give us certain figures from the Chamber. Like it'd be funny, Alpha, if they gave us the one where the Undertaker's pyro almost killed him. You remember that? When the jacket caught on fire and he had third-degree burns on his chest. And by the way, happened before the match started. Undertaker did the whole match with third-degree burns on his chest. They were passing him bottles of water through the chamber so he could pour it on his boiling skin. Yeah. Pro wrestling is fake, right? Tell your story walking. There's always tears involved in toy collecting. That's a fucking fact. And I think back then. But let me tell you something. I dropped to my knees and cried like a baby when Shawn won that belt that day. I did not see that coming. And then Elimination Chamber has had some great fucking moments, had some great matches. I'm excited for this year's Elimination Chamber. That Chamber match is stacked with talent. Damian Priest, John Cena, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Logan Paul, and who's the other one? I forgot who the sixth guy is. But stacked fucking match. And the winner goes to fight go on to fight Cody Rhodes for the title. So that's pretty fucking awesome shit. Seth Rollins definitely ain't winning. Roman Reigns is costing him the match, obviously. If you're a betting man, that's how I would bet. The question is, does Seth Rollins last to the end? Probably final three. Him, Punk, and Cena. I wouldn't be surprised if Cena wins. Honestly, it wouldn't shock me if Cena wins the Chamber because Roman costs Punk and Seth. That wouldn't shock me at all. Do I want to see Punk versus? Do I want to see Cody versus Cena? Not really. But if that happens, if Cena wins, this will be my closing statement. If Cena wins the Chamber, Cena is fighting Cody on night 1, and the winner of the triple threat is fighting Cody night 2. For sure. Book that. It is happening. So that is how I'm going to close this out, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out, man. I appreciate you more than you know. Like I said, we'll be back at it later tonight over on the other channel. And like I said, we'll be back at it Monday morning, 10:30. Please come hang out, man. Check it out. And share. Tell your friends if you know wrestling fans. Let them know about this. Every Monday and Fridays, we're live talking pro wrestling. So that being said, boys and girls, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Friday afternoon. And until tonight, you can keep it. Peace.